Alright guys, lots of new fragrance goodies on their way soon. Soon to land, soon to drop. Fragrances that I've heard about. Some of these fragrances I have smelled. In passing, one of the fragrances I do have, but I'm going to report to you about it. But all fragrances from brands that I really love and support. They're really great ideas for fragrances and things like that. That's why I'm reporting on these fragrances with you guys. Find out about new fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, lots of goodies, lots of new fragrance goodies from brands that I really love. And as I said, some of the fragrances I do know about a little bit because I've smelled them in passing here and there. But most of them I do not know anything about except for the fact that they're launching and some of the information about each of the fragrances. But lots of stuff on their way that I'm excited about. So that's why I wanted to report to you guys to see if you're excited about these fragrances as well. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Not like excited like I am, but if you are, do stick around. Before I get to the fragrances though, if this is your first time tuning into this channel and you haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Before I move forward with discussing the fragrances, I do want to let you know SCENTCLUB was a really big success for me. I'm almost sold out of the first initial drop. There might be a few more kits released. We're holding on to those in case any issues come up. But kit 1 is almost sold out as of the shooting of this video, and most likely it will sell out by the time I air this video. So if you haven't really heard about SCENTCLUB, there's a link in the info box you can go discover. I am doing a curated collection of fragrances every month or two that you guys can sign up to receive. It's first come first serve. It would be a certain amount of drop, but you know, as in like a quantity. We're starting out with 225 for the first drop. Kit number 2 will be increased and so on. Right now we're only doing USA, but the potential of shipping to Canada is an option. And then the rest of the world, I don't know yet. I was thinking of holding off, but we'll figure that all out as this develops. And also the design work will also develop. We launched it, all that good stuff as is. If you want to find out more about it, there's a video I can link in the info box as well. Go listen to what I discuss and which brands are featured in kit 1. So let's move forward with the fragrances, the new fragrances. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is Amouage Opus. It's Opus 14, I believe, Royal Tobacco. So it's in the library collection, and it's a new fragrance I first heard about like a month and a half ago when I met the Amouage rep over at Neiman Marcus, as they got the brand new bottles and everything in there. And in fact, I was there for a day helping them sell some of the Amouage fragrances. But I heard about Royal Tobacco at the time before I was there, and I got very, very excited about it. Tobacco fragrances are some of my favorite fragrances. Also, recently, when I was at the World Perfumery Congress, I hung out a little bit with Cecile Zarokian. That time I found out that she is the creator of Royal Tobacco, and I smelled the fragrance on her. It smelled really, really great. It did smell very resinous and not necessarily overly sweet, but there was some sweetness there, and there was definitely some resins and ambery touches as well. But according to the notes, there's tobacco, there's licorice, there's birch tar, cardamom, vanilla, orange blossom, Guaiac wood, vetiver, oud. So it seems like a fairly masculine tobacco offering, and one that I'm definitely going to tune in to check out and everything, because I liked what I smelled on Cecile. And yeah, I'm very curious because I love tobacco fragrances. This didn't smell anything like the most popular tobacco fragrance out there, probably Tobacco Vanille. Not like that. It was not as sweet, but definitely felt smoky and woody. So we'll see how it is. The next fragrance I'm really, really excited about is Frederic Malle's Uncut Gem. This is the third fragrance created by Maurice Roussel for Frederic Malle. And he did Musk Ravageur. So this is Uncut Gem, and I'm excited for this one. It has notes of amber, musk, ginger, vetiver, olibanum, leather, mandarin orange, bergamot, angelica, nutmeg. So it seems like it's going to be an ambery, a musky ambery fragrance, focusing on the musk because Musk Ravageur is definitely musky, and for me, Musk Ravageur is definitely a winner, and I'm excited to experience Uncut Gem, with great name too, from Frederic Malle. I like Synthetic Jungle, of course. I love that name, and then now I like this name for Frederic Malle as well. I'm excited for the names from this house because names are starting to all seem very similar from different brands. So it's a breath of fresh air to see some unique names for fragrances. The next fragrance is from the house of Mugler. It's a feminine targeted release. It's Alien Goddess Intense. Seems like it was already like a year ago that they just launched Alien Goddess. Now we've got an intense version. I don't know how intense it's going to be. It's the same concentration. So I hate it when they do this intense thing and they stay with the same concentration, right? For me, it doesn't make sense. But maybe they're intensifying the fragrance with some interestingly new notes. We'll see. But it is created by, I think it's Marie Salamagna. This particular version is Marie Salamagna, but originally I think it was both Marie Salamagna and Nathalie Lorson. So the notes are vanilla, benzoin, jasmine, cashmeran, tea, coconut, and bergamot. How much more intense is this going to be in comparison to the original? The original seemed vanilla, coconutty, beachy. This, I don't know, is it going to be as beachy? Maybe a little more beachy, maybe not. We'll see. But I'm curious because I really did enjoy the original Alien Goddess. Nothing like Alien whatsoever. It was a complete new fragrance. So we'll see how the intense is. Moving on to the house of Guerlain, there is a flanker to the AQUA ALLEGORIA collection fragrance Mandarin Basilic, which I'm a fan of. That's why I'm reporting on this one. It's Forte Mandarin Basilic. They're going to intensify it. The times I saw Forte in fragrances was with Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Aqua Universalis and an Aqua Universalis Forte. I was always a fan of the Forte version of Aqua Universalis. Never really got into the Aqua Universalis, the original. Then there's also Aqua Vitae and Aqua Vitae Forte. Here now we're seeing Fortes with two different fragrances. The one I'm reporting on is the Mandarin Basilic because I love Mandarin Basilic. Mandarin Basilic is a great combination of Mandarin orange and basil. It also reminds me a little bit of Afternoon Swim from Louis Vuitton minus the basil, but this is created by Delphine Jelk, and I believe the original of this fragrance was created by Marie Salamagna, which I just spoke about for Alien Goddess. But sandalwood, mandarin orange, basil, Bulgarian rose, orange blossom, vanilla, blackcurrant. Sounds like it's going to be fun. I like a more intense version of that fragrance. I think that's what they're trying to do here, the Forte version, so we shall see how it is. Are you a fan of Mandarin Basilic? Have you ever compared it to Afternoon Swim from Louis Vuitton? I have a video on the channel. You can go watch that if you want to find out how similar and different Afternoon Swim is to the original Mandarin Basilic. But the Forte Mandarin Basilic sounds really, really great to me. Let me know if it sounds great to you as well. Alright, a couple of Armani fragrances to report on. One of them has been announced for a while now, and while I was on the trip to Europe, especially in Italy, I was looking for this fragrance. It's Emporia Armani Stronger With You Oud. There's also the leather, and I was looking for the leather and the oud. According to the information I found out, it is only a Middle East exclusive, so it's very, very tough to get this. Perhaps they have it in London because there is that, you know, they do have the Middle Eastern kind of exclusives in London, like at places like Harrods and things like that. But I'm not a fan of the original Stronger With You fragrance. I am curious about the Stronger With You Oud. This is a fragrance created by Cecile Maton, and it features notes of lavender, vanilla, and oud. I like the sound of it. I'm curious about it. It doesn't sound anything like the original Stronger With You. As I said, I'm not a fan of that one. I haven't even tried the flankers. Are they any good? For someone that doesn't love a lot of designer fragrances, and I've dismissed the original Stronger With You, do you think I might find any of its flankers, you know, worth checking out? But this one does sound really, really great to me. I'm very, very curious about it. I don't know how I can get my hands on it, but we shall see. I'm going back to Europe again in September or October. Maybe I'll run into it at the airport. I don't know. But has anyone tried Stronger With You Oud? And also the one that came before, Stronger With You Leather. Let me know. Put a comment down if it's worth seeking out. Next up is another Armani fragrance. This is Armani Code Parfum. I have worn Armani Code. I have liked it. But Armani as a brand is not one of my favorite brands. I don't know why. It just doesn't draw me in. And I've been trying. But this Armani Code Parfum looks great, and now the bottle is different as well compared to the other Armani Code fragrances. This is a fragrance created by Antoine Maisondieu. I recently spoke about him for fragrances he did for Ferragamo, the intense leather, and then the bright leather that I was recently picked up from Italy. But Armani Code Parfum is tonka beans, Virginia cedar, clary sage, iris, aldehydes, orris butter, bergamot leaf, bergamot. Sounds fun. I do enjoy Armani Code. We'll see how the parfum is. I love parfum versions of fragrances. We'll see how it is. I hope it's a good one. Next up, Hermes has a new fragrance in their colognes collection. It's Eau de Basilic Purpur. So I guess it's a purple basil. Is that what it stands for? It's created by Christine Nagel. It's basil, bergamot, geranium, spices, and patchouli. Love the idea of this one. Basil is a note I do enjoy in fragrances. We were just discussing Guerlain's Mandarin Basilic, which I really love. And this one sounds really, really great as well. You know, I am enjoying Christine Nagel's fragrances. The last couple of men's fragrances she did, H24, and also the latest Eau Givre, the Terre de Hermes flanker. I enjoyed those fragrances. So I'm hoping this is going to be a solid release. Has anyone tried it yet? This might already be out. Some of these fragrances might already be out. I'm not 100% sure, so let me know. Moving on to the house of Maison Crivelli, they're launching a brand new release in the extracts or extrait version fragrances in the red bottles. It's Ambre Chromatique. Love the name of this fragrance. I have sampled this. I have. It's funny. When I was in Paris in early June, I was walking down the street to go meet someone, and all of a sudden I stumbled onto Thibaut Crivelli, the owner of Maison Crivelli. So it turned out his office was really close, so we visited and I met some of his colleagues working there, and I got to smell the new Ambre Chromatique. It has notes of amber, vanilla, benzoin, davana, osmanthus, pink pepper, frankincense. It seemed like this particular amber fragrance was not uber sweet, so if you like ambers with resins, because it has a very resinous presence, and of course amber is created by resins, combining resins with sweet notes like vanilla and labdanum. They don't mention labdanum for this particular fragrance. It's just the vanilla benzoin and then of course the frankincense. So it seemed a little colder, like it was not necessarily a warm amber. So we shall see. I'll test it out from the bottle and how good it is. Hopefully it's going to be smelling great on me. But I do remember spraying it on and it didn't have the sweetness. But I think it did dry down eventually to the sweetness. Let me know if you're a fan of Maison Crivelli fragrances. Are you looking forward to Ambre Chromatique? I know this is the third extract he has now in his collection. There's the Hibiscus Mahajad and then the Patchouli Magnetique. And between those two, I really love the patchouli, and I think a lot of people don't like the patchouli for some reason. It is very overwhelming and very, very long lasting. I wore the Patchouli Magnetic on my trip, on my flight to France, and I got so many compliments on that fragrance. But it really is overwhelming. It's very creamy, very, very creamy patchouli. Very humid. There's a humid effect. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ambre Chromatique. But let me know if you're a fan of the extracts from Maison Crivelli. I'd like to find out. Moving on to the House of Montal, there's Rendezvous à Milan. So I was in Milan after Aix-en-Provence. I was actually going to some perfume shops. I stopped into the Montal boutique there because it's very close to me and the area of the city I stay in comparison to going to the Montal boutique in Paris, because I don't stay near the Montal boutique there. So I got to sample this and a couple of other fragrances as well. I liked it. I definitely did like this one. It did remind me of other Montal fragrances. It didn't seem uber original, but I liked what I smelled. So to me, it had similarities to something like Ristretto Intense Cafe, the new basil fragrance from Montal, which I got to sample there. And then also Sensual Instinct, kind of like combination of those fragrances and a little bit of a reminder of something like Atelier Cologne's Café Tuberosa, a little bit. It was a very interesting fragrance. I really like it, and if I can get my hands on it, I didn't buy it there. My suitcases were full, so... But if I can get my hands on this one, I definitely would have it. Just be advised, it's very similar to other Montal fragrances. But before I forget the notes, it's coffee beans, basil, cloves, rose, musk, vanilla, amber, and tuberose. Sounds exciting. How about you? Do you guys like Montal and this particular fragrance, Rendezvous à Milan? I think the reason they did a fragrance about Milan is because they have a boutique there. and I believe it's an exclusive to Milan. I can't remember 100%. I believe it is exclusive for the Milan boutique. Anyway, let me know if you've sampled it or you're curious to sample this one. So Xerjoff has a new Join the Club fragrance called 40 Nudes. Is that how you say it? It's exclusive to the Monaco Xerjoff boutique. They opened 2 new boutiques recently, one in Monaco, one in Milan. Milan boutique I've been to on this last trip. I went there, and I've also been to the Turin boutique on this last trip as well. I've not been to the Monaco boutique. Maybe on my next trip in September, October, I will visit the Monaco boutique. I don't know. But if you don't know Join the Club fragrances, they never advertise the notes. But according to my research, this is supposedly something very citrusy and sweet. I don't know. That's the only thing I know about this particular fragrance, and the fact that I'd have to go to the Monaco boutique to experience it. Although I think the exclusives are all available at all the boutiques, I believe. I could be wrong with that. So if you have a favorite exclusive, you might be able to smell them at all the boutiques, including the Harrods salon, I believe. But either way, sounds exciting. I'm curious to smell it. Moving on to the House of Ramon Monegal. There's a Attract Tone Musk launch with this brand, maybe launching sooner, or it has launched already. Always a fan of musks, and this brand, Ramon Monegal fragrances, are definitely underhyped, maybe also priced a little high for people. That's probably why it doesn't get the hype too much. They do have some really great offerings. This one sounds really great to me. It's musk, sandalwood, jasmine, lily of the valley, cashmeran, raspberry, lilac, cyclamen, ozonic notes, and cumin. Cumin? Do you like this note of cumin? It becomes sweaty. And I'm hoping with this musk, adding cumin is nice. I think I like the idea of cumin in musks because, it's kind of a natural musk off of people, this kind of sweatiness. So this might be very interesting. It seems kind of wet, watery with the ozonic notes. The lilac is kind of throwing me off. The fruitiness of the raspberry. But cashmeran is definitely, musky, and there's musk in there, and there's the sandalwood, so it seems like it's a woody combination. The last time I saw a cumin with a musk fragrance, not the last time, but the one that's really popular is Musk's Kubla Khan from the house of Serge Lutens. So they have a kind of musky kind of experience, very sweaty, with the addition of cumin, which kind of starts reminding people of body odor and things like that. So I'm curious about Attract Tone Musk. I like the name. What do you guys think? Moving on to the house of Memo Paris. They have a new Grains Vagabonds collection fragrance called Couture. This one sounds great to me, and I love the bottle. And this is another house that is very underhyped. But they do have some great fragrances. Recently I featured Corfu in a video of fruity fragrances. And in fact, I'm going away to see family in Napa Valley in a little bit. I'm going to take that fragrance with me and a few others to wear in the heat there. I like the fruitiness of that particular fragrance. But this one sounds very complex, not fresh at all. Amberwood, tonka beans, hazelnuts, vanilla, cloves, caramel, leather, mate, myrrh, honey, oud. And the list goes on and on and on. But this is a very complex fragrance. Seems kind of gourmand, woody, ambery. Oudi as well. It sounds really great, doesn't it? Let me know. Put a comment down. I really like the idea of this particular fragrance. And the last fragrance? No, this is the second to the last fragrance. Ex Nihilo is a brand that I have not really dug into, and I finally bought my third fragrance from that house while I was in Paris. Their exclusive fragrance. Actually, it was a limited edition tropical fragrance, really yummy, which I'm also going to take on my trip to see family because it'll be really perfect in the heat. I featured it in a haul video, a Europe haul video, and I forgot the name, unfortunately, for mentioning it here. But they have a new fragrance called Emerald Royals. I love the name. Sometimes names attract me to fragrances. This one sounds really great. Gael Montero is the perfumer who I'm not too familiar with. And the notes are tonka beans, nutmeg, frankincense, and myrrh. So a resinous, sweet, and spicy, ambery kind of an experience. I'm all there, I like the idea of this particular fragrance. I just don't know this perfumer. I don't know what they have done, but I'm curious to learn. And I'm also very curious to discover and dig into Ex Nihilo house. How many of you are fans of Ex Nihilo? Once again, just like Ramon Monegal, these fragrances are also a little highly priced. I think in comparison to Ramon Monegal, some of the fragrances at that house, it's 50 ml, so even pricier there. Ex Nihilo fragrances are 100 ml, but still I think they're a little overpriced for what you get. But still, I'm really, really curious to dig into Ex Nihilo. What are your thoughts? Are you a fan? What's your favorite Ex Nihilo fragrance? Right now, my favorite fragrance from this house is the new one I bought, and then the Viper Green. I absolutely love the Viper Green. It's a fresh green fragrance. Absolutely love it. And last but not least, I will do a full review of this particular fragrance, but I have it in my hands. It's another one launching soon from the house of Tumi. It's Kinetic, this one right here. So for me, this particular fragrance seems, because it's in red bottle, is it going into the Baccarat Rouge direction? Not necessarily. For me, it smells more mass, not niche, very designer. But there is that kind of amber woody experience here in this particular fragrance. I'm getting lots of amber woods. Not a lot of sweetness, not a lot of spices, but definitely amber woods. It's kind of like a very strong, very powdery amber woods-like direction. There might be like light hints of spices in there. There might be like light hints of aquatic touches. Also some light fruitiness. I just sprayed some on. I'm just reporting it on to you guys. But, you know, it's not my favorite from the fragrance from the brand. It's not my favorite fragrance from the brand. I think Continuum is still definitely leagues ahead of all of the other fragrances. It's also not my least favorite. It's definitely pleasant, but it's not a very exciting fragrance for me, except for the fact that it's got a gorgeous red bottle, as you can see right there. That's the most exciting thing about this fragrance. But for me, it seems like an easy to wear fragrance that's kind of robust and big with the whole amber woody experience, and then definitely a dusty kind of ground woods experience with water. Like there's definitely something aquatic running throughout it as well. Not marine, but like an aquatic liquidy kind of experience. That's what I have to say about this one. Once I get more details, I'll do a full review. It's Kinetic from Tumi. My first impressions here in this newly launched or soon to launch fragrances video. And that's the last fragrance I'm talking about. What are your thoughts on all of these fragrances? Is there something else new that's launching soon that you're excited about? Do let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. And also, as I said, do let me know if you're fans of these fragrances. I'm not fans, but if you have been excited for these specific fragrances and why, as I'd like to read the comments and find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. A couple of bonus fragrances here. I did a separate video on these two fragrances from the house of Tom Ford. If you haven't caught that, I wanted to feature it here as a bonus option. Tom Ford's Noir Extreme is getting a Parfum version. They're doing a flanker of it. So that's soon to launch. I'm curious to find out what they're going to do with the Parfum version. A fragrance created by Sonia Constant. It's basically, maybe they're going to amplify the intensity of the fragrance and make it a little more ambery. That's the thing I'm kind of thinking that they're going to do with this particular fragrance. It hasn't been reported yet. I mean, I can't find information online, but I was told by a rep of Estee Lauder that this is coming very soon. In fact, by the end of this month or at the beginning of next month, it should drop. So we'll see some info about this one. But if you want to find out more, you can go catch my video on this. And then also the next fragrance, which is another Tom Ford. They are relaunching Bois Marocain, a fragrance created by Cheyenne Mala Maison Du back in 2009. Which I never really got into this particular fragrance. I'm curious to sample it now that it's relaunching. Although it has been relaunched before, but let's see how it relaunches this time. And is it going to go into the more pricey Tom Ford Private Blend Collection fragrances or the regular? I'm thinking it's going to go into the pricier because they definitely like to make money off these relaunches. Oh, you know, it's back. You can get it now, but you have to pay more for it, kind of a thing. But I'm a fan of Tom Ford fragrances. I like their fragrances, and I'm curious to see what Bois Marocain is all about. But yeah, go catch that video on the two new Tom Ford fragrances, as I also discuss some discontinuations and limited availability fragrances from Tom Ford as well. One last thing, I'm going to need my glasses for this. After talking to the rep, and I forgot to report this on the video I did separately for Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum and the Bois Marocain, there's supposedly an 800 number that you can call to find out if Tom Ford fragrances are gone but not forgotten, apparently. So the number is 800-216-7173. and it's a line called Gone But Not Forgotten. So if a fragrance has been discontinued and you're curious about the Tom Ford fragrance, you can call this number and find out where it is selling and things like that. So if you're curious about some of the fragrances that are discontinued or rumored to be discontinued, or you can't find them and things like that, you can call this number apparently, and they can kind of like guide you to where to find the fragrances from Tom Ford that you might not be able to get. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Stick around for tomorrow's video. Bye bye.